Hey, so it's working. Good. Herbs to everyone. That's good. We are accustomed to interpret the Chumash mainly al-pi medrash. We do so because of the influence of Rashi. Rashi always quotes medrash. And from our earliest experience in learning, that's how we see Chumash. However, and that's the way the majority of the Mefarshim see it, especially in later times. And when Kabbalah came into the Jewish world in force in the 16th century, so then there were many that saw the Chumash in Kabbalistic terms. So the Ramban had seen it that way earlier. But there was always a school that saw it in terms of pshat. What do the words mean? What does it say? So one of the classic examples that we have is this week's parsha. Vayera Hashem el Avraham, hu yoshev pesach ha'oel kechol mayom. How do we understand that? Vayera, how did God appear to him? So we know that Avraham Avinu was a Novi. He had the power of Nevuah. The power of Nevuah is to be able to connect somehow with heaven, to hear what heaven has to tell you. They have that communication. So we have communication with heaven, we daven. Many times in life, we're able to daven with kavanah. So we feel something. But Nevuah is more than that. Nevuah is a direct connection. However, there are different levels of Nevuah. So for instance, the Nevuah of Moshe Rabbeinu was different in kind, not only in degree, than the Nevuah of all the other Nevi'im. Welcome to Israel, Kamosha Od, Novi Umabit Es Tmunaso. The Torah itself describes it's Kedaber Yishal Reyu. And the Torah describes that Moshe's Nevuah was that Moshe was not in a trance, he was not in a dream. But all the other Nevi'im are in a trance. All the other Nevi'im are in a dream. So Avraham Avinu is in a dream. So if it says, Vayera Elov Hashem Be'elonei Mamre, Hu Yoshev Pesach Oel Kechol Mayom. So Avraham Avinu was, so to speak, in a trance. Otherwise, how would Vayera Elov Hashem? So therefore, there were a school of Mefarshim especially in the time of the Gaonim, and then again in the Middle Ages, the High Middle Ages, that saw this entire parsha as a dream. The Torah is telling us a dream that Avraham Avinu had. That dream was Nevuah. So, Hine Shlosha Anoshim Nitzovim Alon. So those three people are the ones that he sees in the dream. And his whole conversation with them is part of the dream. And everything that happens is part of the dream. Now, if we say that, then we run into a lot of difficulties. Because then what's the story with Sora? Why does God criticize Sora? Is that also part of the dream? Where does the dream begin? Where does the dream end? Nevertheless, you look at the psukim. So when he says, my masters, and he says, Aleph, Dalet, Nun, Yud, he's not talking to the Ribono Shel Olam, he's talking to them. It's the plural of Adon. My masters, he's being polite. Now the Gemara, Darshans, Gedola, Achnos, Zorchim, Mikabolas, Pnei Ashchina, that's Alpi Medrash. Because when he's saying, so to speak, to the Ribono Shel Olam, excuse me, I have a telephone call. I got these three guys that I have to take care of. But based on the idea that this is a trance that he is in, a dream, so that's not it. That's not what the description. This is part of what he dreams. These Meforshim, Rabbeinu Bachai alludes to them. You can imagine that it doesn't go down well with all of the scholars of Israel. And part of the problem that even the Rambam faced when he wrote the Moreh Nevuchim, the Rambam in the Moreh Nevuchim he describes many incidents in Tanakh as allegories, not as actual facts. Well, that's why they burned the book. Because if you want to say allegory, so you can allegorize, so to speak, the whole Torah, and nothing is real. Film isn't film, tzitzis isn't tzitzis, matzah is not matzah, you know. We can philosophize on this all day. So therefore, that's a very, very delicate line as to how to look at these things. So for instance, we have almost an entire Novi that is a dream, and we don't understand a word in that Novi. That's the Novi Scharia. Except for the first few chapters, he has visions, dreams, he's recording his dream. It's a nevuah, but we don't know what it is. And therefore, in such a case, for instance, If you look in the Meforshim on Scharia, they almost all of them either ignore it or they use it in an allegorical sense. They try to fathom what it means to us. So you have here this dichotomy that exists regarding how do we interpret any of these things. And because of that, therefore, there were many, many great disputes in the Jewish world. So, for instance, the Maharal, there was a man, Azaria the Rossi was his name. Azaria Mino Adomim. He was a Jew from Rome. He was quite a Talmud Chacham and a scholar. But his approach to Torah was completely allegorical, even though he himself was an observant Jew. But his approach to Torah was allegorical. So if you see the Maharal criticized him bitterly. But Azaria the Rossi is a product of the Renaissance. He's a product of the world that he grew up in, which then looked like it was going to be what civilization would be. We're all products like that. And the opposition to all of this continued throughout the ages because this almost always led to non-observance. Once you made an allegory as to what matzah is supposed to represent, then why do you have to eat the matzah? I know what matzah represents. And that's what happened. It transformed itself in the Haskalah in the same way. Once you knew what it stands for, and once you knew the grammar and the structure, so then you don't have to do anything. And that naturally only leads to assimilation and destruction. So therefore, that's why Rashi's approach is not only the traditional approach, but it becomes the almost only approach to how to study Chumash. And therefore, Vayero Elav Hashem is that somehow he saw, and that the three malachim are three malachim, the three people are three people, and that they slaughtered an animal, and that he gave them water, and that's the real story. And even though that may present philosophical difficulties, we would rather go down that road than to go down the other road, which can lead to greater difficulties and greater misunderstanding. Rabbi Chananya ben Akashia, Merotz HaKadosh Baruch Hu L'Zakos Yisrael, V'fichach Chiv Elohim Torah Mitzvot Shenemar, Adonai Chavei Tzaman Tzidko Yagil Torah V'Yadir.